Hello. We've talked about what the definition of genocide is. Now we are going to talk about what it looks like and how does it happen. Because people don't just wake up one day and choose violence. It is a process that they go through that causes ends in a genocide. Now, this dude, Dr. Gregory Stanton, uh, studies genocide, and he came up with this thing, the 10 stages of genocide framework. And these 10 stages are present in every genocide. Now I'm going to talk through them, and then we're going to have a little question for you to answer afterwards. Now, the first stage is us and them. It's classification. Now, this is kind of normal behavior. But, there's us, there's me and my people, and there's them, the other people. This is normal, but it can get insidious, get bad. But then we have symbolization. This is another thing that's kind of normal. Symbols and signs can be used to identify who you support, where you're from, the things you like. I'm wearing a shirt that is advertising for T's Salon, where my partner works. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, so I have a lot of Packers merchandise. That identifies me as a Green Bay Packer fan. But in the context of a genocide, symbols and signs are used to identify hate groups and in-groups of those who want to do a genocide and the people they want to attack, the vulnerable groups. Next, we have discrimination, where a dominant group will use laws, customs, and political power to deny the rights of other groups. We're using the power of the people in charge to make it so only they can benefit and that other groups will be more attacked, more persecuted. Next, we have dehumanization, where one group starts to say that other groups are less than human. As it says here, where one group denies the humanity of the other group, members of the other group are equated with or called animals, vermin, insects, or diseases. This dehumanization puts in people's mind that these others are less than human. Once you get to the point of dehumanizing another group, the people in power start organizing. They start creating militias or self-defense groups or local police auxiliaries or special army units to protect the people. And once you have this, people start getting polarized. When people stop arguing and discussing and start just fighting, It drives people apart. And when people are driven apart, when they don't have close interactions with each other, it's easier to see other groups as enemies or as not human. Once we have this organization and polarization present, the groups in power start talking about and planning a final solution to the blank question. In the 1930s and 40s, it was the Jewish question in Germany and Europe. That is an example of that. And once this is happening, you have persecution where the victims are identified and separated from the people in power because of their national, their ethnic, their racial, their religious identity. Their identity of who they are becomes a cause for them to be marked and removed. Once we have all of this happening, we get to the real bad stuff. We get to the part that people call a genocide, the extermination. And once the extermination starts, well, it can go fast. What you're seeing here is called the killing fields in Cambodia. These bodies, these skulls and skeletons that you find here aren't ones that were gathered and then dumped here. This is the people that were killed, the skeletons and remains of the people that were killed in this exact spot. And there are hundreds of fields like this across the country of Cambodia. Now, after the extermination, and to be honest, throughout this entire process, we have the final step, which is denial. Denial is the final stage because it happens after the extermination, but it's been happening before then too. It's denying that a genocide is happening. It's denying that it was planned. It's denying that the genocide happened. Or if it did happen, it wasn't that bad. And if it was that bad, they had it coming. These are the types of things that will be said in a denial. And the more that people believe the denial, the more likely it is to happen again. Now, these are pretty scary once you see it. It starts kind of like normal. This is kind of normal stuff. And then it goes downhill and keeps going down. But I got a question for you. Look through the 10 stages. And I got a link below this video, or link in the assignment. I want you to pick the stage where you think it stops being normal behavior, even if it's mean, and starts being like serious genocide preparation. And then explain why you think this is. Now, later, I want you to come back and read other people's responses and respond to someone who said something different or who had a different reason for why they picked the stage they did. Just respond. And if you make a low effort response or post, you're not going to get full points for one or the other. All right? Then, good luck. And let me know if you need any help.